Good afternoon. This is your Congressman Van Taylor calling to invite you to participate in a very important telephone town hall today to discuss coronavirus and answer your questions about our government's response. Today, we'll pay special attention to the Collin CARES Recovery Program, which just launched this past Monday. I am joined by State Representatives Matt Shaheen, Jeff Leach, our County Judge, Chris Hill, and the Manager of Housing and Community Development for the City of McKinney, Adonai Deacon. Together, we will answer your questions about federal, state, and local government responses to COVID-19. This is the 7th telephone town hall that I have hosted since the coronavirus breakout. However, if you've never participated in one of these events, here's how they work. We are currently dialing 70,000 households throughout Collin County, and many more are calling in right now. Those who want to join the call can press *3 on their keypad at any time to ask a question. You will temporarily be removed from the town hall event while a member of my team asks you for your name, city, and question or comments. Then you will be added back into the event. If for some reason you get disconnected, you can call back, and here's the number to call back into this telephone town hall. It's an 800 number, 855-731-4614. Or you can go online to stream the event live at vantaylor.house.gov/live. That's vantaylor.house.gov/live. For those of you that have a question, you'll be able to listen to the event until I'm directly connected with you, and then we can ask your question for all the listeners to hear, and then your friends and neighbors can hear the answer coming from one of our great guests. Again, if you want to ask a question, hit *3, and you can also, at any point in time, if you want to leave a comment or you want someone to call you, you can press *3. One of our operators will take your call. We'll take notes. We'll take your phone number, your email address, your mail address, whatever it may be. If you've got a question specifically that you've got for one of the people on this call, let us know, and we will direct that to them. Phone lines are open now, so if you have a question, hit *3 on your telephone keypad right now. Since our system is calling thousands of Collin County residents, and many of whom have not yet joined the call, we will have Representative Shaheen, Judge Hill, Representative Shaheen, and Representative Leach give a brief state and county update. Right now, I'm going to ask State Representative Jeff Leach. Jeff, wanted you to have a few minutes to give some words.
Congressman, thank you for hosting another one of these town hall meetings, and it's always great to be with you and my fellow State Representative Matt Shaheen and County Judge Hill. And thank you to all the thousands of folks who are joining us today. We pray and hope that you and your families are staying healthy and safe and hunkered down during this time. Congressman, as you know, as we all know, the past several weeks and really the past few days have presented, I would say, historic challenges for the people of this country, the people of Texas, the people of Collin County. And as we wrestle with these challenges together, as we consider not only where we are, but what the path forward is, I'm so grateful to have opportunities like this, not only where we can talk about what we're doing and provide resources and answer questions, but more importantly, Congressman, to have this forum where we can hear from the people themselves, to hear their questions and their concerns. This is, without question, the most important thing as policymakers that we can be doing right now, is making ourselves available to hear from folks, their concerns, their questions, their circumstances and situations. And so thank you for hosting this teletown hall. I look forward to participating today. I believe strongly that we're going to come out of these crises stronger together, and these calls this time together is a really important part of that. So thank you, Congressman, for this time and for your leadership in Washington.
Thanks, Jeff. Really appreciate that. And for those of you who just got on the call, that was Representative Jeff Leach. He is the state representative for House District 67, and so the central portion of Collin County, and he has been a great leader. He was president of his class at Baylor, so showed a lot of leadership at a young age and continues to be a leader. He's a chairman in the Texas House and surely a shining star in our leadership team for Collin County. Another star is State Representative Matt Shaheen. Now, Matt was elected to the Collin County Commissioners Court, and after a successful tour there, he joined the Texas House, and he's been a leader representing House District 66, which is southwestern Collin County, so Plano and Dallas. It's a seat near and dear to my heart because I sat in it. Matt, would you like to give us a few words?
Yeah, Congressman, thanks again for having another town hall. These are so important, and it just helps us become even better policymakers and be able to respond to the crisis at hand. And you know, the topic today is really just another example of how we're responding to this crisis, to this COVID-19 crisis, and I know we'll hear more from Judge Hill and exactly how this works and how you know, our constituents can apply for this kind of support. But this is one of many things that the state of Texas, Collin County, and the other 253 counties are doing in response to this really significant pandemic, this global pandemic. I will tell you the state response has been strong. We now have tested well over 1 million Texans throughout our state. We have both you know, drive-through places, we have labs, we have the National Guard that has mobile facilities across the state, making sure people get tested. We have, without a doubt, a significant amount of health capacity to handle those that are sick. And I will tell you that Texas is leading in the response. We rank really near the bottom as far as the number of cases, number of hospitalizations, and we're leading our nation as far as recovery. And so as we continue to go through this, know that your state, your county, your cities, we're doing everything possible we can to keep you safe and to address the concerns that you might have. And so again, I'm looking forward to answering questions and sharing more about Collin CARES. And not only will the state of Texas lead in the recovery of the virus, there's very strong indications we're already leading the nation in economic recovery as well. We have quite a bit of work to do there. So with that, Congressman, thanks again for having me, and looking forward to people's questions.
Thank you, Representative Shaheen. Next, we've got the leader for Collin County government, and that is our Collin County Judge Chris Hill, and he has been a steady hand leading a very serious response to a serious situation. Judge Hill, would you like to give us a few words?
Thank you, Congressman. I appreciate you hosting this call today and bringing us together. It's my pleasure to join you today to talk about the Collin CARES Program, and I hope that we have the opportunity to answer a lot of questions from callers and provide some good information on how they can get assistance if, in fact, their family has been impacted by the economic impact of COVID-19. Today with us we have Adonai Deacon, who's with the City of McKinney, and she and her team are helping us implement this program on behalf of all of our Collin County citizens. So thank you to Adonai for being with us, and I appreciate you bringing us together today, Congressman.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it. And finally, we have Adonai Deacon, who is Manager of Housing and Community Development for the City of McKinney. And we've brought her here because she's got some expertise on the Collin CARES Program, which just started on Monday. And that program is an example of our county government's leadership and using the federal dollars that were sent in to help with this crisis. So, Adonai, would you like to give us a few words?
Yes. I'm Adonai Deacon, Housing Community Development Manager for the City of McKinney, but I'm here today speaking on behalf of all of the residents in Collin County. The Collin CARES COVID funding was distributed by the county to the 4 entitlement cities within Collin County: Allen, Frisco, McKinney, and Plano, and that happened at the beginning of May. We have been able to do an RFQ, select nonprofits, get those nonprofits on board, create a grant application, and that application went live on Monday so that those nonprofits can begin accepting applications from residents who have had a COVID-related loss. If they've lost their job, if they've had a 25% greater reduction in income, they are eligible for this grant. Up to 3 months of mortgage, rent, or utility assistance, not to exceed $2,500 a month. So we were able at Judge Hill's direction to get this program up and running very quickly so that we could begin assisting residents with the goal that we want to make sure that folks don't get evicted, that this funding is available, and that they're able to stay in their homes, they're able to pay their utilities, and that this will provide some support for them until, things get back to normal and they can get back on their feet.
Thank you, Janae. Really appreciate it. Again, if you have a question or a comment for myself or anybody else on the call, hit *3 on your phone right now. You'll go to an operator. The operator will take down your information, take down your comment, your question, and if you want to ask a question, then they'll put you back on the telephone town hall, and you can stay on there live until you get connected with me, and then we can direct your question to anybody on here. And so that includes State Representatives Jeff Leach, Matt Shaheen, our Collin County Judge Chris Hill, and Adonai Deacon, the Manager of Housing and Community Development for the City of McKinney. So really appreciate you taking the time to be on here. For those of you that are just joined, this is your Congressman Van Taylor, and you're on a live telephone town hall event where I, along with other elected officials, will be answering your questions about the coronavirus response. As we wait for your neighbors to submit their questions, I'd like to take a moment to thank you, and I want to thank all of you. This is a challenge that we have never experienced before. It has impacted the lives of every single person on this call. We are truly in this together, and I just want to say I have been very impressed with how our community has responded, how we have acted, and the responsibility among us. While this call is to answer questions about Collin CARES Program, and that has been some time in the making, from the federal appropriation to the implementation by the county, and the cities working hand in hand with them to implement the Collin CARES Program to help people who need financial assistance during this pandemic. I want to take a moment to talk about what is happening across our country. There are a lot of people hurting right now, and it's important that we all come together. Collin County draws its strength from its broad diversity and rich history as a community made up of people of different religions, colors, ethnicities, and beliefs. And we're lucky to live in a diverse and prosperous community. I often brag on Collin County to other members of Congress, telling them that I hope one day that the rest of America can one day be as successful and resemble what we have built here together in Collin County. And despite the many blessings of our community, and I think there really are a lot of blessings here, the reality is that there are many Black Americans who are denied equal treatment, and even worse, who fear for their life because of the color of their skin. As we mourn the death of George Floyd, we must come together as a nation to advance equal justice and work to heal wounds, both institutional and cultural, dividing our country. And that starts with each and every one of us on this call throughout our community. To those who are hurting, please know I stand with you. I hope over the coming days, weeks, and months, you will reach out to me and share your stories so we can continue to work to advance equality. And for those just joining this call, this is your Congressman Van Taylor. You're on a live telephone town hall event with State Representatives Matt Shaheen, Jeff Leach, our County Judge, Chris Hill, and Adonai Deacon from the City of McKinney. Our phone lines are open, so press *3 to ask your question or leave your comments, and we're going to get started right now. So our first question is from Jennifer in Plano. This is a question for Judge Hill. So Judge Chris Hill, this is a question for you. It's a question for Jennifer in Plano about the county response. Jennifer, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Jennifer, and what is your question for Judge Hill?
I wanted to find out, I was really disappointed, and I saw that you voted for it, so thank you for that. But I was disappointed that we are no longer going to get that detailed update on the COVID-19 numbers. I loved that you were able to show us daily how many respirators we had available, how many hospital beds we had available, and how many in my specific zip code, how many cases there were in my specific zip code. I've looked on the state website that you referred to, and I just don't see that level of detail. Is there a way, or is there another option for us to be able to keep track of that? As a person with some autoimmune issues, it greatly concerns me, and I'd like to just have those details about, is it safe for me to go to Kroger? Is it safe for me to go out to a restaurant? And I'm just not seeing it on that state website.
Well, Jennifer, thank you for your call and for your comments. I appreciate that. For those in the audience that may not have the context, I'll just start with this. The Commissioner's Court did vote last Friday to transition the contact tracing and case investigations and the reporting elements of our COVID response over to the State Department of State Health Services. And that transition occurred on Monday. And so now, as of Monday, the state is responsible for investigating all new COVID cases in Collin County and for then giving us reports on those. As of this morning, the state dashboard had not been updated since Sunday with any new case reports for Collin County. And our staff here at the county have been in contact with the staff at the state offices, and they've assured us that they are working on that, and that later today, hopefully, that it will be updated to reflect more current reports for our cases. They've also told us that it will not have the granularity and the level of detail that we were reporting with here locally, that as they report for the entire state, they will not have that level of detail available for each community. So I'm afraid that we've lost that in this transition and won't have that information available on the state dashboard as they take over. But I do appreciate the kind words about the reporting that we were doing locally, and now we'll transition to the state now.
Thanks, Judge. Appreciate that. This next question is for State Representative Jeff Leach. Jeff is a leader in public education and the great reforms that you were able to work on in the last legislative session, improving funding for all students in Texas and their funding. I was hoping you could answer a question from a seventh grader in Allen, Texas. And so it's about when does school start? Allie, are you on the line?
Yes, sir.
Allie, what is your question for Representative Leach?
I'm going into the 7th grade this year in the Allen schools, and I was wondering what they were planning on doing for opening up schools again when the school season comes in this fall.
Well, that is a great question. Thank you so much. I actually have a 7th grader in Allen as well. You might know my son Brady, who's going to be a 7th grader at Erickson Middle School next year. And Brady has the exact same question you have. He asks me every single day, multiple times, Dad, are we going back to school in the fall? And I'll tell you right now, I certainly can't make any promises, but I can tell you that we are working around the clock at the state level with your school board members and your awesome teachers and Congressman Taylor, doctors, healthcare officials. Look, we're working around the clock to make sure that when August rolls around, you're back in school. You have been so wonderful to adapt and to hopefully listen to your parents, newly homeschool teachers, and we want to support them, support you, and support our wonderful educators and do our best to get you back into our schools in August. And trust me, on your behalf, but also on behalf of my kids, both of whom are in Allen schools, we're going to try everything we can do to get you back in August. So thank you so much for your question, and have a great summer.
Representative Shaheen, thank you so much for giving us that great answer, and it's just great to have someone who has the perspective not only as a legislator but as a parent to bring to the table. So we really appreciate that. This next question is a two-part question And so the first part question is for Representative Shaheen. So Matt, this is going to be Shannon in Plano has a question about unemployment, and then afterwards he's going to have a second question that is actually going to be for me about mortgage forbearance. So Shannon, are you on the line? Shannon? Uh-oh. We may have lost Shannon. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. But I will share with you online. She had a question about mortgage forbearance. Actually, so unemployment. Representative Shaheen, do you just want to quickly just say what your office is doing to help people in terms of getting in touch with the Texas Workforce Commission and what kind of services you're helping people with as far as unemployment goes? Why don't you just kind of give us a quick rundown of what you're seeing on with the Texas Workforce Commission and unemployment benefits?
Absolutely. Thank you for that opportunity, Congressman. We've fielded several thousand calls now, over 3,000 calls with respect to COVID-19, and a lot of people have questions about the Texas Workforce Commission and just getting through to apply for unemployment insurance. So we've actually had town halls like this and video town halls specifically just for unemployment because it's been challenging for people to get through. So what I would suggest that people do is if you've gone through a significant number of attempts to try to get through the Texas Workforce Commission to apply for unemployment, or if you just have questions and you just cannot get through, my staff and I are available to you. In fact, we're actually proactively calling people that we know have applied and just to make sure that they've received their unemployment benefits, and there's many that are still struggling through that process. I'm going to give you my district office number. So again, if you've been trying to get through the Texas Workforce Commission and you just cannot, I'm going to give you both my phone number and email address, and we will do what we can, do everything we can to help you. So my email address is Matt, that's MATT .Shaheen, SHAHEEN at house.texas, and Texas is spelled out, .gov. So just if you just cannot get through, just send me an email and we will take care of that. And then if for some reason you need to talk to us live, my district office number is 469-642-8708. And just one other item about unemployment is that the state, just in response, obviously, to this global pandemic, a lot of normal requirements for unemployment have been waived. And so there's some people that normally would not qualify for unemployment that do. So if we can help you with that, please reach out. Thank you, Congressman.
Thanks. And Shannon's second question was about balloon payments for mortgage forbearance. So if you have a mortgage and you're having a hard time making the payments, in addition to the Collin CARES Program at the federal level, Congress has worked on encouraging the major mortgage companies, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, to forbear on mortgages. That is to say, to defer payments for several months and then spread those payments out over time. So not a balloon payment. That was kind of their initial idea, and members of Congress, including myself, let it be known that we did not want that. We wanted our constituents to be able to pay over time. And so if you have any questions about that, you can hit *3 on your phone right now. Let us know. We will call you back. We will help you with that. If you have a question that you want to ask, like some of the questions have been asked already, that you think would be good for everybody to hear, hit *3 on your phone, and one of our operators will take your question down, put you back into the town hall, and then you can talk live to one of us. The next, we have a question about the housing provision in the Collin CARES Program. So do we have someone on the line?
Hello?
Yes, Mary.
Yes, it's Mary.
Mary, what's your question?
Yes, my question was, I understand that there is funds or grants out there for homeowners and for renters, and I was calling to find out how do I find out about more information because I was laid off because of COVID-19. And at this point, the lady Karen who asked about the mortgage forbearance, that is one of my concerns as well. But if I could get those benefits and that grant, that would greatly assist me until I can go back to work or find a better job.
Great. Thank you, Mary. Great question. Janae, do you want to give Mary an idea how she can get started with the Collin CARES Program?
Absolutely. The easiest way to access the grant funds is go to the Collin County website, and they have a banner on top of their website that says COVID grant funding, Collin County CARES. And you just click into that, and there is a sheet that has all the information on the program, and the link to apply is on that website as well. What you will be asked for once you're filling out your application, the FAQs kind of list the documents that you will need to have, but it's just basically to show that you've had a 25% or greater reduction in income because of COVID. So they'll ask for your pre-COVID bank statement and your post-COVID bank statement, and you would be eligible for up to 3 months of assistance for any late mortgage or rental payments, utility payments, and then also food assistance.
Thank you, Janae. Really appreciate that. And again, I just want to spell out for everybody here that the Collin CARES Program was funded by the federal government directly to Collin County, but the Collin County government, took their initiative and worked with the cities and charities across Collin County to create programs that will help local residents, local businesses, and they're really to be commended. And they honestly, as I talk to other members of Congress around the country, they're honestly gobsmacked at how effective Collin County has been in implementing a program as quickly as they've implemented. I think that they're really to be commended at the county and city level for the job that they've done in using those dollars intelligently. And so I hope people that need that help take advantage of that opportunity. The next question is a question for me. Terry from Princeton has a question about VA benefits. Terry, are you on?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, where'd you serve, Terry?
Vietnam, and I'm one of those older guys. I was with the Marines, and
thank you for your service, Marine.
Thank you. My big question is, my wife has been very sick with things like spondylitis and what have you, and I'm not working. I'm 100% disabled, and my wife, we don't have any insurance for her, and we've been having trouble finding insurance because of the cost, and because I'm only on VA and Social Security, and trying to find some sort of help somewhere for medical for her. And I don't know if it's the right place to call, but I thought I would ask.
Okay, Marine. Well, thank you for your service, and I served in the Marine Corps and led a platoon in Iraq, and I'll just say that the Vietnam generation certainly set the example for us to follow as we went into harm's way. So thank you for your service. And the broad, Semper Fi to you. So the broad answer here is that my office is here to help when you're dealing with federal agencies, include whether it's Social Security Administration, whether it's a Medicare issue, whether it's the VA, getting a passport, a visa, immigration issues. We're here to help in dealing with federal agencies. So feel free anytime to call my office. The number here in Collin County, 972-202-4150. That should be the number on your caller ID. Again, 972-202-4150. You can call direct, or you can just hit *3 on your phone right now. an operator will take your information, and we will get back to you, and we will help you and work through your particular needs and whatever we can do to help you get in the right place, the right agency, and get you the right answer. We will do that. So just know we are here to help you. We have helped hundreds of people through this crisis. Last year we closed almost 500 separate cases like yours, Terry. So just thank you for your service, and we're here to serve you and to help you. So our next question is a question for our county judge. It is a question from Twan in Richardson. Twan?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, what is your question for Judge Hill?
My question is that for the homeowners, what kind of relief for appraisal taxes, property taxes, is up, and we need some relief from the government through this difficult time.
Well, thank you, Twan, for your call. I appreciate that. This is the time of the year when everybody gets their property appraisal notice, and it ought to be the time of the year everyone gets excited to see how much their property has gone up in value. But oftentimes I get calls like yours to my office from folks who are frustrated because they know that their property going up in value usually means their taxes are going to go up as well. It doesn't have to be the case, and it's not the case here in Collin County at the county level. For the last 4 years, our Collin County Commissioners Court has done a great job of adopting the effective tax rate, which is the mathematical rate that makes all of your taxes level even after your home appraisal has appreciated, your home has appreciated in value. So every year we get a statement from the appraisal district telling us what the aggregate value is, and we have cut those tax rates for 4 years in a row now, and 7 out of the last 10 we've adopted that effective rate. So I appreciate our commissioners doing a great job on responding to and listening to our citizens across Collin County. And as we go into setting next year's budget here in August, I suspect that you will see that this Commissioners Court will once again be one of the most conservative and one of the most careful in planning for Collin County's needs with, quite frankly, your tax dollars. And so I appreciate that question.
Yeah, and I just wanted to brag on Judge Hill and the entire County Commissioners Court, who for many generations, Collin County voters have chosen county commissioners and a county judge that have distinguished themselves as having the lowest property taxes of any county in the state of Texas. And we also enjoy a community college district with the second lowest tax rate of the 48 community college districts in the state of Texas. And many of our cities also have relatively low property taxes. And so we are fortunate to all live in Collin County for a lot of reasons, and one of them is that we've chosen people that have been wise with our tax dollars. And while our service levels are high and we have good schools, we have safe streets, we are blessed that we have relatively low taxes here in Collin County. If you have another question, hit *3 on the phone. We'll be delighted to take your question or comment, or either somebody you want one of us to call you back because you want to have a question that's specific to one of us. Just hit *3 on your phone. We've got operators online who'll take it right now. So we have another question for Judge Hill, and this is a question from David in Dallas, and this is a question about eligibility for the CARES Act. I'm sorry, for the Collin County CARES Program. David, what is your question?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, we got you. Keep going.
Okay, great. Well, I got in just at the tail end as you were describing that act at the front of the call. And if I understand correctly, for those of us that are working but have had more than a 25% decrease, we may qualify for that. But you mentioned the cities of Collin County. I'm technically in Dallas, but in Collin County. So I wondered I was wondering where it was that I would need to go. Now, you did respond to an earlier caller and gave her a link at the website. Am I to assume that's the same place that I would go to check and see if I qualified?
Thank you, David, for your call. Yes, so everyone, if they didn't catch that earlier in the call, you can go to the Collin County website, collincountytx.gov, and the link is right there on the banner to the Collin CARES program, and we'll help you navigate that if you need help. But you ask a specific question that does warrant a specific answer. Those citizens who live in Collin County but within the city of Dallas are actually in a different program. Under the CARES Act, the federal government provided funding specifically to counties and cities and the state of Texas, and the city of Dallas and county of Dallas, as well as Collin County, all received direct funding. So those citizens in the city of Dallas will be under a different program than Collin CARES. They'll be under the city of Dallas program.
Thanks, Judge. We appreciate that, and again, we appreciate your leadership on this. So our next question is probably going to start with Judge Hill and then maybe shift to Representative Shaheen. So Amy in Plano, Amy has a question about about tracing efforts. And so I thought maybe once Amy asked her question, maybe Judge Hill, you can start with what the county has done, and then Representative Shaheen, if you want to add on what the state of Texas is doing, because we've shifted operations here from a county effort to a state effort. So, Amy, are you on the line?
Yes.
Amy, what is your question?
Well, I was just curious. I am an ICU nurse. I don't see any in Plano, and I don't see any, on our end. I don't see the beginnings of any contact tracing. And just for the benefit, for example, of the caller that was, I believe, your first caller, who said she had an autoimmune disease and wanted to know, was it safe to go to Kroger? Was it safe to go out to eat? I just wanted to know, how are we doing on contact tracing? For every COVID positive case, are we doing contact tracing for those individuals for every single one of them? And where do we stand on that? And how do I find out more about it?
Sure. Great question. Judge Hill, you want to talk about what the contact tracing efforts you built at the county health department?
You bet. Thank you, Congressman. And thank you, Amy, for that question. I think a lot of folks have an interest in that as well. So I'll tell you, from the very beginnings of the outbreak here in North Texas and in Collin County back in March, early days of March, we knew that we were going to have more activity than we would be able to handle with our current staffing. So we had made adjustments immediately. We hired 4 new epidemiologists for our staff to give us additional scientists on our team. And then we retrained and we loaned employees from across the different departments of the county to work temporarily in the health department, which was a fantastic decision by our team. We retrained those folks, and they all became part of our epidemiology team to make phone calls, and then our trained scientists, our epidemiologists, became supervisors of those various teams, and that has worked very effectively for us. And I'm really proud of our health department team. I'm proud of our IT department, who went in and built a brand new database so that all of those additional folks could have a place to put the information. So we've done that from the early days here in Collin County, and what it looks like when somebody is tested positive, and we get that positive report back from the state lab or a private lab, then one of those callers will immediately make that first contact to find out how the individual is doing, and to find out when their symptoms started, what their symptoms are today, and to start to chart a course for them for recovery and how long they're going to need to be staying quarantined at home. And it's during that process that they also put together the profile of asking the individual, where have you been since your symptoms first started, and who have you encountered and come into contact with, and it's that's the part of the investigation that we call the contact tracing, identifying who their contacts have been, and then reaching out to those people as well, so that we can help monitor their health, as they may or may not have been in contact with somebody who was positive. So all of that has been under the leadership of our Collin County Public Health Department, our Public Health Director, until Monday. This last Monday, 2 days ago, we handed off all of those duties to the state of Texas, to the Department of State Health Services. That was a vote made by the Commissioner's Court last week to transition all of those duties. And now, quite frankly, I can't speak for how they're doing that now that they've taken that over, but I think Representative Shaheen was going to jump in and answer that part for us.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you for your leadership.
Yeah. So, Amy, and thank you for your work if I think I heard that you work in an ICU, so you're on the front lines with all this. So, yeah, no, from a state perspective, the baton is going to be carried as far as the contact tracing. So across the state of Texas right now, we have about 67,000 cases. That's a year-to-date number, if you will, and about 66% of them have actually already recovered. So what the state is doing is a couple different things. We actually have call centers that exist today, and those capacities are growing so that we can keep in touch with individuals that have either been, become ill or been in contact with individuals that, have the virus and what have you, and trace, where they've been, so we can contact information that we can contact individuals that they may have come in contact with. All that, by the way, is private. That information is private. So, for example, if the state is talking to an individual that came in contact with several other people, when the state contacts them, we don't disclose where that who that original person was to protect privacy. But on the other hand, we're establishing and protecting people's privacy while keeping a look at, from a state perspective, are there any type of hotspots that could develop? So one of the things that we've done is we've established what we call medical strike forces, and this is a combination of both National Guard, local law enforcement, and medical professionals that can respond to any type of significant outbreak. You might have heard in the news, for example, that like out in West Texas, where there's a food processing plant, we have a rather high percentage of cases of COVID that are being responded to directly. And so a lot of the focus is on really three different areas: our nursing homes, our prisons, and then obviously where we have like a lot of cases is in the food processing areas, those food processing plants. So the state's going to continue that process with the focus on identifying potential hotspots and responding to those in a very rapid fashion.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And it's really great to see, the county's beginnings and the state picking that up. So our next question is for Janae. Janae, Crystal from Allen has a question about the Collin CARES Program. Crystal, are you on the line?
I am. Thank you.
What is your question for Janae?
So my question is, I looked at the document that is on the Collin County website and was just kind of looking through the criteria. And what I noticed under who is not eligible was it has a comment on households that have already received federal CARES Act money from another agency. And I was just curious of kind of what all that entails as far as other federal CARES Acts.
Thanks, Crystal. There are some other programs that came out of the CARES Act in addition to the Treasury funding that this program is funded through. So there was housing funding that went to HUD. So it's basically saying if you have already gotten funding through some kind of CARES Act, that you are not eligible for this assistance. It's basically to prevent, kind of double dipping. However, there is one clarification on that. If you have had 3 months of assistance through the homeless prevention program is normally what the HUD funding is called, you are eligible for an additional month of funding through the Treasury, through the Collin CARES funding. So there is 4 months total that's available through the Collin CARES funding. So if you've had 3 months from another source, you can still come in. You won't be able to get funding for the months that you've already received, help with. But if you still need rental assistance or something like that, you can get an additional month of rental, utility, or food assistance through Collin County CARES.
Janae, thank you for that. And can you just tell everybody where on the website? And it sounded like Crystal already figured this out and was looking at the website. So I'm always impressed with these calls, just how much homework and research people have done, and the questions are always so sophisticated. Could you tell everybody who may not have had a chance to find out what website they can go to get more information?
So you can go to the Collin County website, and the main page on the Collin County website, they have a banner that says Collin County CARES COVID Grant Assistance, and it's in red, and you can click on that. The link for the application to actually apply for assistance is www.zoomgrants, that's all one word, .com/Z as in zebra, G as in giraffe, F as in fox, /Collin County EHLA grant.com. But the easiest way is really to go to the Collin County website and click on that. And the first thing that comes up is that red banner, and you click on that, and it will take you right to the page that shows you the apply to link, and then also the FAQs on the program.
Super. Thank you, Janae. Really appreciate that and appreciate your help on that. So for those of you that want to leave a voicemail for me or anybody else on this call, that will be at the very end. So I'm going to ask everybody to get some closing remarks, but if you want to leave a message for myself, Van Taylor, for our county judge, for our state representatives, or Janae, just stay on the line. There'll be a opportunity to leave voicemail. Everyone will be reviewed, and we'll route accordingly. We'll route them to the correct people, and so that will give them a chance to get back to you. So with that, I was just going to ask State Representative Matt Shaheen, you want to take just a quick minute to close out?
Yeah, Congressman, thank you again for doing this. It helps us so much in representing our constituents. And to everybody that's listening, know that we're doing everything we can to keep you safe, as well as we're doing a balanced act with respect to opening the state of Texas in a very safe manner so that people can get back to work as soon as possible and lessen the impacts as far as job loss. We're well aware of that. And we're going to do everything that we can to guide you through this situation. We obviously have some sensitivity with respect to the pain that our nation is going through, and know that we hear and share your pain as we see what's going on throughout the United States, and just know that we hear you and believe that all Texans are equal in the eyes of God, and we're all created by God and loved by God, and know that we hold that dear to our heart, and we're all in this together, and we're going to do everything we possibly can to get through this, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's inequality, whether it's social unrest. We're going to get through this as a state and be better, and again, whether it's responding to the virus or anything at all, whether it's economic recovery, you're going to see Texas lead. You're going to see Texas lead in all these areas, and we're going to be much better for it. So thank you. God bless in each and every one of you.
Thank you, Matt. Really appreciate that. And so Representative Leach had to step off earlier, in case you're wondering where he was. Judge Hill, closing minute.
Thank you, Congressman. I appreciate it again, this time that we have together to reach out to the community and answer these questions. And for everybody listening who would like to get in touch with us about Collin CARES, I encourage you to visit the Collin County website or that direct link provided earlier by Ms. Deacon, and we would love to get you signed up for the Collin CARES program. And if there's a way that we can provide some financial assistance, then please know that the program is up and running today so that we can help you and your family. Thank you again for joining us today.
All right. Thank you, Judge. Appreciate that. Janae, do you want to make some actually, I'm sorry, my mistake. It's actually my turn now. Okay, so again, this is Van Taylor. We are unfortunately out of time. And if we were unable to answer your question, please stay on the line, and you can leave a voicemail at the end of this call. We'll review every single call, and if you want me to personally return a call, just let me know in your message. I'll leave your name, your address, your phone number, email address, and your question, so I can get information that you need. If you just want to leave a comment, I will review all of those as well. Again, if you have something for someone else, just leave that in your voicemail. We'll route it accordingly. It is an honor and a privilege to serve you in the United States Congress. There are so many in our community right now who are really hurting, whether it be the struggle for equality or the financial impact of this pandemic or the health impact of this pandemic. I know that this has been a challenge for each and every one of us, and I know that together we will come together and be successful. And I want you to know that I have been so impressed, so inspired, so humbled by the compassion from so many across Collin County. We have an amazing community, and I am thankful for all that you do to keep Collin County the very best place to live, work, and raise a family. We are all in this together, and we are going to overcome this together. And with that, thank you, and God bless.